Well, thank you very much to all participants and welcome to the last Silvair Convergia Bluetooth Mesh Automated Illumination Systems training. This is the fourth session, the last session of the training. This session is also going to be recorded, and we will also again send everybody and every participant the material that will be covered in this session. We thank Miesco from Silvair, who is our trainer, and all the participants from inside Convergia and outside Convergia. With this, we will end and finish the 4 sessions. After that, we will get in touch with everybody that has participated in order to get their feedback. We will appreciate it, your feedback, and we will gather some information. And if there is a need for another extra session in order to cover any specific doubts or needs, we will schedule so. So thank you very much. I don't want to delay this anymore. So Miesco, please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for hosting the training sessions. This is the last session, which will cover mostly our connected services solution, and also enhancing the projects, some tips and tidbits what to do to make the projects work flawlessly. There will be also some last live presentation of a mesh quality test for projects, and there will be also some time for questions after that. Okay, so enhancing the projects. After completing this module, you should be able to commission a gateway, describe basic connected services, and troubleshoot common problems. We will start from information regarding gateway setup. As always, remember that connected services documentation is available in our knowledge base, internal knowledge base for partners. Gateway features consist of few as gateway management, scheduling, energy monitoring profiles. Okay, this is exactly how the gateway looks like. This gateway is provided by Rigato, based in the United States. Features which can be provided only through the gateway are monitoring for gathering data from your installation, pushing data to the cloud, mostly energy monitoring, and occupancy sensing. Scheduling, which is here at the first place. This is schedule-based recall of lighting control features. It works only with multiple scene scenarios, which I will cover later in this module. It's important to note that scheduling is not only available through Gateway, but also will be available fully through in-node scheduling, which is currently under development. Actually, first part of in-node scheduling is has been released recently in latest 2.20 firmware version. The last feature is energy monitoring / occupancy data available in API. which is under development, and this will allow remote control and add multiple functionalities which should help in troubleshooting. One more thing to note is that any project equipped with gateway allows Silvair support to help with any troubleshooting externally, so we can better investigate problems in problematic projects. One of the steps for very intense troubleshooting is for us or partners to provide such gateway to the problematic project, just to extend the troubleshooting possibilities. Here is a difference between services. Monitoring for occupancy and energy. This is set by support, Silvair support, and requires contact with us through our ticketing system. The limitation for such monitoring is less than 200 nodes per gateway. You can use multiple gateways per project. Actually, this is also recommended in the installations where nodes are not in grid layout. For proper monitoring functioning, internet connection is always required. And time zone for data gathering is UTC. The other time zones are not yet available. Regarding scheduling, this is self-service through platformsilvair.com. This means that it's enabled and you can use it just by having the gateway and provisioning the gateway to the project. You will be able to set scheduling by yourself. No further action from support is needed. Scheduling is limited by mesh network health, I would say, number of relays, and of course, replay protection limits. This was covered in the previous module. Basically, what it means, the more condensed network is, the less efficient it is. So, for example, for scheduling large projects with multiple areas, it's very important for scheduling to be very simple. So the projects cannot have too many messages floating around the network. The number of number of switches in such a number of profiles also reduces the scheduling efficiency. Also, you can use multiple number of gateways in the project. Internet connection is required just for initial setup, and whenever changes are required, maybe if you need to synchronize time for time changes, or maybe when you update the schedule, you will need internet connection for gateway to be able to upload such changes to the cloud. Also, the only available time zone is UTC. A very important step for connected services installation is to open our gateway setup and connection instructions. Whenever we ship gateway to our customers, there is a printout of the manual inside the box. But if it goes straight from the gateway manufacturer, it may lack such instruction and can be downloaded from our knowledge base. Few more very important documents are, for example, application note for scheduling, calculated energy monitoring documentation, and how to measure power consumption. This you will be able to check a list of such documents later when you receive this presentation as well. Gateway requirements. First of all, power supply, power over Ethernet, PoE 802.3 AF, or main AC power 100 to 220 volt. Internet connection, Wi-Fi with no enterprise authentication, 10/100 Ethernet, DHCP, and static IP. We can set static IP. For that, you would need to contact first Silvair support, providing the gateway number so we could enable such static IP. IT network must whitelist all hosts and ports listed in previously mentioned documentation, the manual for installation. And this is very important before you would go with the gateway to the installation site. It's important because sometimes it takes even 2 or 3 weeks for some IT support to whitelist all important hosts and ports. And most of the time we see that after commissioning all the nodes, the customer goes to the project with the gateway, connecting the gateway, and it's not working because the network is not prepared for such. So of course, you should first prepare the project and commission all Bluetooth nodes. But you can also add nodes later. Also good to note is that, for example, if you would like to organize some schedules, whenever you add additional nodes, it doesn't change the settings of the schedule. These are completely independent functions for the project. So whenever you change the scheduling scenes, you would need to reconfigure the nodes. But if you just add the nodes to existing zones, this won't affect schedule. Here's the presentation of gateway communication. So the most important thing to note is how long it takes for the gateway to upload the configuration for schedule or monitoring to the cloud and to the mesh network. 5 to 7 minutes. It's really random. It might be affected by how large installation is and what is the network performance. Also, yeah, pro tip, when testing schedules, it's good to set 10 minutes for different schedules to be applied, especially for the first setup, so that the configuration could be uploaded to the cloud before triggering the scheduled sequence. And again, connection manual for gateway contains important firewall exceptions that must be allowed by on-site IT. Very important to do it before going with the gateway on-site. This should be coordinated with IT on-site. Gateway is equipped with some status LEDs. You can also check LEDs on network connectivity port. And in case of any issues, you can contact support or our local FAE, field application engineer. We have such services both in United States and Europe. So before troubleshooting further, always check status of gateway LEDs and gateway dashboard in platform. We'll go further with troubleshooting. One thing to note as well is that you can also reach Rigado gateway documentation on the website of the manufacturer. There is a lot of troubleshooting steps, basically for just for the unit itself, not in connection to mesh. But sometimes, if you cannot recognize what's happening just by observing status LEDs, you can also reach for gateway documentation on the Rigado website. Very important thing, the gateway boot time should not exceed 5 minutes. I will present this how to add and remove gateway in the later in this module. If the gateway is stuck with either one of the blinking yellow states, it could indicate a network issue. It's always good to see if Ethernet port at the back of the gateway is receiving any information. And basically anything but solid green LED indicates a problem. So for now, in terms of troubleshooting, we have really limited options in in the web platform UI. The status in our web platform only indicates very small roles. Green light, of course, gateway is successfully added and ready to use. But it doesn't mean that a gateway is currently online. So even if you will see green light in our web platform, you always should check if there is also green LED on the device itself. This is mostly for your information, and it's available in our gateway setup and connection instructions. So I won't be covering this in detail. Further mesh requirements for gateways. Gateway must be within range of at least one relay per area being scheduled or monitored. This is how incorrect gateway placement for controlling multiple areas looks like. So we have two areas, gateway in area 1. And on the left side, you have a bit different setup. Where you have two gateways which are overlapping the areas to cover larger area of mesh network. So it's also important to note that gateways should be really close to the first relay to be able to populate messages throughout the network. So on the right side, in the area 2, there should be another gateway to cover the connectivity for whole project. And of course, if you have scheduling set for the whole project, both gateways will work accordingly. Even if it's just a copy for the existing functionality. Just to increase the coverage of gateway. So here on the left, you can see there is third gateway on the staircase. This is vertical positioning. So you can see how to improve actual connectivity and improve network. What's important, you can always check. You don't need to assume that, okay, if I put one gateway on floor 2 and another one on floor 0, you don't need to guess if these gateways will work. You just need to gather mesh quality test results from the position of the gateway, each gateway. So basically, it will show you if the nodes from other areas are connecting to the nodes, to the node with the relay from the position of the one gateway and another. So it's important to ensure that the area to be used with connected services has good overall mesh quality. I will present a mesh quality test in details later. Always stand in proposed gateway location and use the test tab to control distance zones in the network. Control functionality should work for all zones in area. And it's also important to have relays in close proximity of gateway. This part can be done before going on site with a physical gateway device. Of course, this is the part of finalizing the commissioning. You would need to do it after commissioning all the nodes to overall check mesh quality, and you can adjust it on site before even coming with the gateway. You just need to know where is the proposed gateway location. So this mesh quality improvement allows you for multiple paths to the network and reduce bottlenecks. Here is the example from our office. Gateway is in the central location. This information will be a bit more technical, and it's a part of the last module regarding messaging in the project. So max of 8 relay hops for traffic coming in or going out of the gateway is allowed. A max number of devices services by one serviced by one gateway depends on the modes features used by the gateway. So for energy and occupancy monitoring, there is 200 nodes limit across all areas. This is very important. This is for whole project. So not for one area, but 200 for all areas. Scheduling requires a maximum of 200 nodes per area. So as the project has maximum 32 areas, it should work with scheduling without problems. So gateway servicing requires direct connection relay path to each controlled area. So if we have, for example, 2 areas, one is the ground floor, the other is first floor, you would need a stable connection between those areas through relay. Only with the gateway, because there is areas are not connected to each other. So the relays should be in such position from each area to connect, to be able to connect with gateway. Here's a short information how to add the gateway. This is just for your information right now, as I will show you that later. It's important for the project to have very accurately described latitude and longitude. in the project details. Okay, let's go through gateway features. Gateway management. This will be also covered later. Most important thing from here is for changing gateways between projects, you would need to remove gateway from one project, not physically remove, but through our web platform, remove gateway, and to avoid any errors on the device, the gateway should be online. So it's always best to not only check the status LED in the web portal, but also on the device if there is proper network connectivity. We see a lot of issues with that, where customers are just disconnecting the gateway from the network, removing it afterwards from the project, and the gateway cannot be added to the new project. And this, in most cases, requires contact with our support. Gateway management requires specific roles. To view gateways tab functionality, all users can see that the gateway is enabled in the project. To manage gateways, only installers, managers, and owners can add, remove, or reconfigure gateways. Scheduling feature. Scheduling recalls predefined scenes from multiple scenes profiles. This will be also presented in a few minutes. Scenarios allows up to 4 scenes to be defined. This is not only to allow such multiple scene scenario needs to have these 4 scenes defined, even if you don't need 4 states. You don't need to use all 4, but all 4 need to be set. For scheduling, we have the following types. Time-based, to recall a scene for zones at a particular time the day. Astronomical time-based, recall a scene based on astronomical clock, sunrise, sunset on specified days. This, to function properly, will require your actions in the future, as we don't have astronomical auto-adjusted time per time zone. So you would need to set schedules according to time changes. And also all time-based scheduling requires latitude, longitude. Regarding commissioning, it's always good to set up multiple scene profiles before commissioning, as redefining the scenes afterwards would require node reconfiguration. So this is coming back to our first presentation. This is one of the points for a project planning checklist, where you would need to know which zones that you plan to commission and which areas should be controlled with the gateway. Also, to test such multiple scenes takes some time, so it's always good to have this prepared earlier. Setting scheduling is pretty easy if you know what you want to achieve. This is just for your information because I will go through it on our web platform. Additional dashboard views are available when you have such features enabled. These dashboards provide basic visualization of the data only. There are no actions to be correlated with such screens. Granular data will be available via API. And here is a link to our yearly API platform public documents where you can see what can be achieved at such early stages. The whole feature will be available later this year, probably till the end of this year. Energy monitoring, calculated energy monitoring shows energy consumption of a group of luminaires based on reported light value. Curry's energy consumption heat map is available in the Silvair web app. Per device consumption in detail will be available through API with details. Also, there is visualization on the heat map. Size of the dot equals number of devices in zone. The bigger the dot, more devices in zone. I will also present it later based on the example from our office. This for energy models. This is not so simple, so simple topic as it requires your knowledge of the device's capabilities. And to set this properly, you need to have a correct measuring of the power consumption set, and how to calculate such energy monitoring is best explained in our application notes. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but such options like energy use, setup of such is available only on web platform. As I mentioned on our first session, connected services, setup of such connected services is available only through our web-based platform. Occupancy sensing feature allows users to see how occupied a given area is. Basic occupancy sensing heat map is available in the Silvair web app, and the granular data is available via API. Visualization is the same as with energy. The size of the dots show how many occupancy sensing devices are in the zone. The bigger the dot, the more devices in the zone. And the color visualizes the average occupancy from all devices in that zone. There is no, of course, to have very detailed view, you would need to have multiple zones with one node. Then you will have very detailed heat map, but it's not practical. It's better to gather such data in detail from API. Okay, before we go to gateway troubleshooting, I will switch to different view from the web app. Now you should see my open projects. I have three test areas. One of those is equipped with the gateway. Just to see, right-click to zone details to preview how many devices there are. As you can see, scenario is set for multiple scenes and scheduling. On the when you open the project to areas view, you can navigate to gateways to see all your gateways. You can see the gateway number, if it's updated or not. This will indicate if the gateway is connecting to the network and has accurate information. Here you can see the status. OK, as green status indicates. If we open edit of such gateway, we can select different areas. So for the practice side, right now, from this menu, I will remove the gateway. Gateway is scheduled to remove, and it's removed very quickly. Right now, I can add this gateway again by pressing plus icon on the bottom right corner. And we will again assign this gateway to gateway troubleshooting. And now gateway is configuring. Such configuration shouldn't take longer than 7 minutes, 10 at most, but usually it should be pretty quick, as this project doesn't have too many devices or zones and areas. And it's still configuring. Okay, let the gateway configure. On the area screen, if we go to gateway troubleshooting, we can see scheduling on the left pane. We don't have any scheduled events. I won't be able to present you scheduling in action, as this is something requiring a lot of time to properly show this. But I will show you how management of such scheduled events works. If I add new schedule, here you can see in our recent web application, you also have option for in-node scheduling. This feature will be completed later this year with the release of real-time clock in node. Right now, gateway is the option for scheduling. We can add the name. Here we select the scene. You can see if I hover over the scene, it shows you the zone that will be added for it. So these scenes are not used by any zone. As you can see, if I hover over the scenes, there is no highlight on the zone on the right. If I hover here, it will show you that this zone will be affected. Let's select something like that. Here you can set the fade time for such. You can select the days for schedule to be applied. It can be either time schedule, sunrise, after or before sunrise, or sunset as well. And also offset time. Here you have summary of such gateway scheduling event. Operating hours will repeat every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 minute after sunset in zone test 1. This is your final information, how this will work. If everything is correct, just press save, and you have your first schedule. If we go back to commissioning, and we add another zone with the profile, which is multiple scenes for scheduling, you can see additional information. The light can be adjusted automatically with scheduling or manually to one of the 4 definable scenes. Each scene can run different control scenarios. So we have another zone. Let's go with zone 1. There are no devices, but if we go to edit and profile, in here, very important thing, if we change anything in this scenario, any of the zones, you can see that all the scenes, all the scenes can have different settings. But if we change any settings, our devices in all the zones which are using this profile will require reconfiguration. So now if we go back to scheduling, we can see that this schedule will work on both zones, right? If we go back to the commissioning and edit the zone and select different profile, maybe outdoor, multiple scene as well, with different settings. Now if we go to scheduling, you can see that only test 1 zone is controlled by this schedule, and we can add additional schedule. Now if we go to this profile, outdoor, we can see that only the other zone is selected. Everything is set. Here we have the summary. And if we save, this panel is very useful and very important. When you hover over the schedules, you can see which zones are affected by each of them. You can also remove the schedule here. So that's regarding the scheduling. Let's see if our gateway, gateway is okay right now. So it is properly configured. And that's actually all I can show you with this. For energy and occupancy, I will show you the example on our office. Let's see the first floor. Here we can see occupancy heat map with hourly interval. From today, these dots are zones, and the color. Of course, this setting that you see, this is for testing, so it's not accurate. You can see occupancy of 0 devices, 6,000%. But this is just to show you how it actually looks in the real application. And the same is for also you can check different days. We can even schedule last year October. Let's see if there was any and as well. So there was no occupancy reading last year from this. If we go to energy use, you can also see the bigger the dot, the more devices. 24 in here, 6 devices here. Also, the readings are not accurate as for testing, but you can see how this presentation looks in real time. Okay, now I will return to our presentation. So fixing gateway web errors. Most errors on web result from a gateway being offline. So this is very important to really be sure whatever you do on web platform with the gateway, that you know for sure that the gateway is online. If someone disconnects gateway during commissioning, when you add the gateway, it may cause problems. It may cause problems if you want to apply different schedules and the gateway is not offline. It will not work properly. For other errors, removing a gateway from an area and then adding it back can sometimes help resolve an error status on the gateway. And this is also important. Gateway needs to be online for this as well. Such removal of gateway forces a full reconfiguration of the gateway. And it requires you to re-enter the serial number of the gateway. Very important, very often missed thing is that changing longitude and latitude causes a gateway to reboot. And if such change should be made and the gateway would be offline, this would also cause some errors. Before you install a gateway, here is a short checklist. Always first read a gateway setup guide. Internet access should be available on site. It doesn't need to be physical network connection. There is a way, even without local internet access, to properly provision the gateway. For that, we always provide a link to Regado documentation because for mobile devices, Regado has a special application for Wi-Fi option to be enabled. This application is creating a Wi-Fi network only for gateway to be connected. Then a mobile application is connecting to gateway, and the gateway can get internet access through your mobile device that way, through such tunneling, and then you can, even without local network connectivity, you should be able to install the gateway. But for properly run schedules and monitorings, you would need better stable Wi-Fi connection for some features all the time, for scheduling only while configuring. Next step is to open firewall rules for gateway in coordination with local IT. Project and area should be created. Gateway serial number should be available while provisioning. While scheduling, multiple scenes profile should be created and set as desired, as I presented before. And also you should always verify gateway connectivity on site. Always check the status LED, or you can also contact Silvair support for detailed information if the gateway is, for example, up to date, if the gateway should work properly. We had some examples that out of the box gateway was not configuring properly, but we could fix it with the help of Regado, but only when internet connection was established with the gateway. Here is a simple gateway troubleshooting checklist. This would be all that our partners and first level support can provide on site. You can first verify gateway LED status, verify, check and verify gateway web status, ask to be added to project as a collaborator to see how the gateway looks in web. Verify gateway serial number with project gateway. It happens sometimes that there is certain gateway added to web platform project, but the number is not consistent with the one you have physically in the project. Happens. Verify zones, areas to be connected to gateway. Verify nodes added to appropriate zones, areas, and also settings, scenes for scheduling, monitoring. Always start from gateway health. If gateway connectivity is okay, if it looks okay, but scheduling is not working, there might be some setting in one of the scheduled scenes, which is in contradiction to what this scheduling should do. It's really easy to understand if you have schedules really well written, well described in some manual for installers. And the last step is to verify gateway mesh connectivity. As I mentioned before, just check mesh quality from the mobile app, from the position of the gateway, physical gateway location in the project. So adding the gateway, I've covered that. Adding area as well. Adding gateway to areas won't require any action on the devices. So there is no risk of required reconfiguration of the devices just by simply adding gateway to areas or even the project. So I've covered everything from connected services. Do you have any questions regarding this?
Anybody, any questions? Don't be shy. This is the time to ask.
Okay, let me just tell you, if you receive this presentation or any presentation from any previous modules, and you will see the links that are not working, it might be because some documents linked in my presentations are only available through our knowledge base, which is available only for our dedicated partners. Through our customer portal account, each partner has a specific account for such. Right now, I will switch to live view for our previous project to show you how mesh quality test looks like. Now there should be a view of the mobile application. This is the previous project. Now, if we are on the screen with all the areas in the project, we want to check mesh quality on the commissioning demo area. 3 dots on the upper right corner of the area. You can see at the bottom mesh quality. And we can start testing. Of course, such test takes longer with as the bigger the area. For only 5 devices, it should be very quick. You can see mesh quality is 100%. Sadly, I don't have any broken projects. I could actually show you our project in the office. Here you can see all the zones are green without any additional errors. If you click after such test, you can see further details. The green dots represent the same as above, and you can see which devices are proxy. You can click on either zone and see all the devices. This is useful if there would be a red dot representing some errors. You could see the list of devices, and directly the devices which are causing the problem will have red indicator on the right side. Here, what is really useful, on the right top corner of the application, you can send logs from such test. What is important is to send such logs only from the test period. What it means, you should restart the application and run the test only, and then send logs straight away, straight after such test has been performed, so that we would have only informations regarding the test itself. Let me see if I can show you our first floor mesh quality. It will be messy, I think, because there is a lot of test devices, 158 devices. It will take some time, but we should see a lot of miscommunications in such. It's always good to see a larger scale project and how long it takes. So I think it will be useful for you to notice that as well. Okay, actually we have 100%. As you can see, all the zones with details. Here you can see additional indications on the dots. You can see the placement of the relays in the zone. So you can see which zone has relays enabled and which zone was used as a relay, in which zone devices with relays were used to moving the test messages around. I hope it is a useful view for you. And at that note, if you would like to see something else, you can ask me right now, either on mobile or web platform. If I could perform any action that you would like to see, just let me know now, as I have this prepared. If not, then we will be okay to finish today last module.
Okay, anybody has any questions, any doubts, anything you would like to ask Nisco?
Okay,
I guess
so
we have
yeah.
a shy audience.
As this is our last session, I would encourage everyone maybe to go back to the presentations from previous, from all the modules, check if there is anything which is not clear. Maybe you would need further explanation of something. You can forward such questions to Daniel or even our Silvair support. Whatever reaches me, I will be able to provide you with answer. I see some comments that it's all quite clear. Thank you for that. If anything, we will be able to schedule more detailed presentation with some specific topics if you would have more questions. And of course, I would appreciate any feedback regarding these training sessions or our solutions as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Nesco. Thank you for your 4 sessions and presentations and all the materials you have sent us, which we always send to all the participants after each session. I also want to thank all the participants that we've had. And like I said at the beginning, we will get in contact with you. We will get in touch in order to get some feedback, which is very important for us and for Silvair, of course, for Miesco. And if out of that information, out of that feedback, we find that there is a need to go deeper into any subject matter of any of the training sessions, we will do so with Miesco. We'll schedule another session. We're here to help, and Silvair is here to help us also. So thank you very much to everybody for all these sessions. Thank you, Miesco. Thanks, Silvair, for this. And everybody have a very good day. Do take care, and we'll keep in touch then. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well for all participants. And well, we are in touch.